I'm with
Year
Geenie7, and we're gonna do our bracket challenge.
is this
Um,
year six?
this is year 3.
3?
I think we've only done it 3 times, and every single year, I have had a certain team go to the final, and I've been horribly wrong about it. But it's okay. It's okay. This time, we'll do better. Unfortunately, I wanted
What
to.
certain team have you had going to the final every year?
You'll find out because I'm doing it again.
Oh
But
God.
unfortunately, last year we were able to look back at our previous bracket. I for some reason don't have access to the bracket anymore. I think
I don't
they
have access to
changed.
my bracket from last year either.
Yeah, they changed something. You can't see it. But I'll save ours this time somewhere else so that way we can actually look at it later. Um, but before we get into it, how did your regular season kind of predictions go?
Ooh, regular season. Ooh. Um, God. Not good.
Hmm.
Not good at all. Uh,
I had for mine winning the Atlantic was the Toronto Maple Leafs, and second place was the Florida Panthers.
which was eighth and seventh, respectfully.
Right. I
Um,
had the Mammoth, I think, finishing last, and the Anaheim Ducks finishing last in their divisions.
yeah. For me, the Central was just about like the teams that I predicted to win the Central, the Avalanche, the Stars, and the Wild. I predicted those were the three teams that are going to be juggernauts in the league, and I was correct about that. The Mammoth, I didn't really know. I said they could be good. I have the Jets being fourth, though.
That was my
I
issues. I
have
had the
the
Jets in the
Blues, the
top three.
Predators, and the Blackhawks all missing, with the
Yeah.
Blackhawks being in last, which they were.
I really didn't think the Jets were going to take the step back that they took this year. Um, I also thought Pittsburgh was going to be way worse. I thought they were going to trade Crosby and it was going to be they're going to be
Yeah.
Dunzo.
I had the
Um,
Golden Knights winning the Pacific, but
nice.
I didn't have the Golden Knights winning the Pacific with only 39 wins. For a reminder out there, people, 41 wins in a regular season is half of your games wins, half of your games losses in the National Hockey League with 82 games. They had 39 regulation or they had 30 regulation wins, 39 total wins. Um, to win the division because of their gigantic 17 overtime points.
Yeah.
That's 16 win. That's 8.5 wins generated from losing past regulation.
And
Kind of crazy. Oh, my Canucks! I could have told you my Canucks would have finished last in the league by a long shot if they traded Quinn Hughes, and that's exactly what they did. They traded Quinn Hughes, and my Canucks were like the most. We had 15 regulation wins in 82 games, David.
that's
15 regulation wins.
that's truly something. Now,
Yeah.
I want
Oh, and one of
you,
them came against the Colorado Avalanche.
huh?
Yes. One of the 16 losses by the Colorado Avalanche on the season were to the Vancouver Canucks. That was like a 6-2 game.
It happens,
We
man.
absolutely killed them, and one of their goals came in an empty netter.
It happens. It happens. Nathan McKinnon scores on empty nets. It happens.
Does he score an empty nets or does he hit posts?
Uh, net wasn't empty enough. That's all I'm saying.
How is that gold medal hanging around your neck there, David? Because it's feeling empty
Uh,
around mine.
they taxed me and took it away from me.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah,
I thought they took it at customs when you flew to Egypt.
that too. But you mentioned the overtime games that Vegas has played. How about the overtime games in the first matchup that we're going to talk about? The
Oh,
LA
you're gonna talk about how the
Kings.
Kings went to 30 overtimes this season or
They
32 overtimes this
went
season.
to, yes, they went to
They had 22
32
regulation wins. But anyway,
and 20 overtime losses. That equates to essentially an added 10 wins in the standings.
yep.
The Sharks, who missed the playoffs, had more. wins in general, like including the Kings overtime wins. The Sharks had more wins. Kraken Flames had just one win less, but they did not go to overtime a gigazillion times.
Yeah.
So I think we could start there. I want to start with that first round matchup on the West, and then we'll make our way to the exciting East as we uh,
Right.
normally do. Now this one, I'll let you start first. Go ahead. Tell
All
us
right,
about it.
my bracket. I'm pulling up my bracket on so David can see it because my bracket's locked in. Um, I have the Avalanche taking it over the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
This series, Kopitar is gonna pop off for one game. I have it as I have the Avalanche moving on, uh, pretty handedly. Um, the Kings are here. It feels like a swan song. For Kopitar. Um,
And Dowdy, to be honest, like how much does Dowdy have left?
Panarin's good.
Yeah.
Byfield's gonna be is gonna be great, but I don't I don't see the Avalanche are the number one team in the league for a reason. They played in one of the strongest divisions. Yes, they played in the weaker conference. But when they played teams in the East, they still beat those teams in the East. Plus, Arturi Lehkonen is a playoff god. They got Nazem Kadri, Kale McCarr, Devon Taves, Brett Burns, like are should be household names for any hockey guy. When you have Landeskog, Nick Waugh, and Kadri's your third line, you're doing okay.
Is there a deeper team in the playoffs than the Colorado Avalanche?
No. Their biggest issue for me will be their goaltending got carried by how freaking insane their team was in front of them. The Wood Boys, uh, that's that's what it's gonna come down to.
I
But
have a hard time seeing Colorado like it used to be like the LA Kings had the crazy center depths, and they really do have good center depths.
yeah,
But
Lund's good for third there.
and
But
he,
they're going
how
up
many
against the
goals did he score? How many goals did Lawton score since getting traded from the Leafs?
probably like what is his total on the year?
Uh,
60% of his total on the year was like after he got traded.
this doesn't tell me. Just don't. Unless I'm just not
That's
seeing
that's
it.
that's funny. He scored in like a bunch of games after he got traded.
Yeah, and so I think like a good player that's actually going to be better. Um, like I think the Kings have a good core to go forward with, but like
They're a playoff team, but they're not a second round team.
they're just not, and I don't see how they're better than any of the four teams that lost to like Edmonton the previous years. Um, so I don't. Yes, they have a good young core. I just don't see the direction that they're going to help them out, and like their old pieces are just too old, and I don't like the center depths of Colorado. I think are just like it's probably the best center depth in the league, and just in general the best left
Kadri
depth.
was first line center on the Flames.
Yeah,
Like that. Let's just put that out
and he
there.
didn't have a bad season on his own. Like he
No,
wasn't.
gosh, no.
So you give the Kings one game. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I give the Kings a game. Now I want to say before I do this, we're obviously streaming this on a Monday. This is the last day you can submit your bracket. There were games the past weekend. I did not watch any of them. That includes the Montreal game.
Okay,
I
so I can't say anything about what happened in the Montreal game.
You can't. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I actually just flew in last night. I was in the desert, and I'm not joking. I was actually in a desert where I didn't
Yeah,
have internet.
I did see your location, and that was like, I'm like, you're in a state, and I'm like, that is like the non-population part of the state, brother.
Yeah, I was actually just in a retreat in a monastery deep in the deserts of Texas. So I actually have no
It was in the
idea.
Wild West.
I have no idea what was going on. And I wasn't even close to Dallas to like when I got like I was flying out of Houston. So it's not like I went to the airport and saw anything. So like I legitimately don't know anything. So I could already be saying something wrong because I think maybe did they play the Kings and the Avs? I think they played.
Everyone but the Ducks and the Oilers have played.
Right. So all the game ones, I did not see any of them. Should make that clear before we start the bracket. So I'm gonna say
Okay,
that the Avs sweep them.
David, I'm gonna say it on the. I need to tell you right now. You must watch the third period, full third period of the Sabres Bruins game, and you must watch the Montreal Tampa game.
I have it downloaded. I have the Montreal Tampa game downloaded, and I'm ready to watch it. I got the sports replay. It's just haven't had a chance to this morning. Literally, once we're done here, I'm gonna watch the game. I just didn't want to watch it before talking because I really didn't want anything to influence my opinions or my evaluations.
Now I want before I spoil what happened in Game One of the Stars and Wild series, I would like you to lock in your prediction for the Stars and Wild series.
Mm. So to me, this is probably the hardest series. This one's going to game 9, game 11. Like this is, and like it might actually be that many periods of hockey. I wouldn't be surprised if went
Yeah,
super overtime in every single game. This is to me the matchup of the like first round. I know like Lightning and Habs are
this is the
really
one
good.
that everyone like. So the Leafs, when the Leafs and Lightning, the Leafs and Bruins faced off, and those teams were really good. Back when the Atlantic was a 3-team division, um, us Leafs fans were bitching at Bettman about it, and now the Wild and Stars fans are bitching about it, and everyone on the internet's like, "Oh, we'll actually listen to them this time." And Bettman actually came out in an interview and said, "No, I'm not changing your format. This is why I like the format. We're not going 1-8 because I want these powerhouse teams to go up against each other in the first round."
Yeah, and you know,
Like, let's go for just so everyone knows. Um, in the National Hockey League, total standing, this is third versus seven, and in the West, it is second versus third. So if you were to go traditional 1-1-8, that wouldn't work.
yeah,
Sorry.
I do
This
like
is
that there's rivalries. I like the fact that, these types of teams play each other often, that you don't get create like you have some different matchups, but you also have, repeat matchups. I like that Toronto played Boston and Tampa and Florida a bunch of times. It creates rivalries when Montreal was frequent in the playoffs. I like that they often played the Lightning and the Bruins. I thought that was good. I like
oh yeah.
if it wasn't for this playoff format, we wouldn't have gotten Pittsburgh,
Oh
uh,
gosh.
Ovechkin, Crosby Ovechkin as many times as we did. How many times they face off? 4 or 5 times. So there's definitely pluses, but then there's these minuses where it's like Dallas and Minnesota should both be teams in the second round. Unless they're playing the Colorado Avalanche, I think we'd take either of those teams versus anyone else in the West. Maybe, Connor McDavid goes nuclear.
I would take them. I would take the Wild and the Avalanche over any team in the East.
Yeah. Like it's a tough matchup, but it is what it is, and it does lead to probably the best first round in any sport event. And these are just perfectly matched up teams. I think the centers for the Stars to me are the weak part, but their scoring depth, they have great players throughout the entire lineup. Um, I don't think these lines are accurate, at least when I was watching Stars games earlier in the season. But just to get an idea of the depth that they have throughout the lineup, the Stars defense is where to me they really shine. They have you
Oh yeah.
know 3 Olympians in my opinion.
Myers is a first line was a first line defenseman for the Canucks this year.
Yeah, and he's massive. He's huge. Like you throw him on the penalty kill, it's like okay, we're not taking away any time from our top guys. Um, and he's so good on the penalty kill. He's what is he 6'5" or something? He's massive, and like the depth on defense. It's not something typically we talk about depth on forwards, but like the depth on defense for the
You need it.
Stars. It's what actually makes them like you don't get an easy matchup. They're hard to play against. They have great goaltending and auditor. Um,
I had. You have to say. Do you remember what happened last year with Ottinger?
I remember that he looks like Charlie Kirk.
He, yeah, he was booty cheeks. He was booty cheeks in the playoffs last year. Um, they they were chanting U.S. backup and all that. Um, and he did not look good. He let 2 goals in 3 shots, and DeBoer pulled him, and DeBoer got fired.
I remember DeBoer skewered the guy on his way out. So obviously this season,
He
maybe
also
things are
scared
gonna go.
Flurry, but
Sure, that guy doesn't like goalies for some reason, but maybe this year, you have a different vibe, different head coach. They've definitely played excellent. But Minnesota, to me, first off, their center depth, I think, again, it's not their strength, but definitely a little better. And I think that they have more goal scoring throughout the entire lineup. Like, you have, how many? They had three 40 goal scorers, right? Boldy, Ek, and Kaprizov.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if Kaprizov hit 40, but, or maybe, I know Boldy did, though, because, Boldy and Caulfield are always compared, just because they're so close in the draft. They have, sta veterans on the bottom end. I,
Like Tarasenko is great. I don't have to say anything about the Felinos. And
yeah.
Michael McCarron, former London Knight, absolute stud of a player. That fourth line, I don't want to. I would not. I would tell my coach I'm not going out there because those guys are just gonna pound me to the boards.
Yeah, and like so it's like you have so much of your team sorted out in depth. You have so much coming on the bottom lines that it's not a liability. I don't see a weakness on the forward group that's like I can exploit here.
I can see one weakness.
And what is that?
Prisov is not McDavid, and he's not McKinnon.
But can he elevate to that point in the like I understand he's getting paid, or well he's gonna be paid an insane amount. He's gonna be the highest paid player, and maybe he's not McDavid or McKinnon, but when you have the pieces around him, if he could just take over a game, if he can give ice time when you know maybe the Dallas defensemen are like just tired of constantly, running the top four for so much. If he can just get a little bit of room for himself, he can take over a game, put a few in, make some insane plays against, defensemen that most other guys in this league can't get around.
No.
And maybe that's all you need. Maybe you don't need the number one guy, but if you have a team of like, the number 10 through 15 guys, all of them on your team, and I'll say that I think Quinn Hughes this season is putting up a better performance than McCarr.
Oh, I will. His numbers are deflated because he played the first half of the season with the Canucks.
Right.
The only reason the Canucks were not like we have to remember here, David, that in the standings, for everyone overall, the Canucks clinched 32nd 3 games after the second team was eliminated from playoff contention. They clinched last place 3 games, so like a week after 32nd was pretty much announced.
Right. Like,
Like they were so for a long time, 31st was closer to making the playoffs than catching Vancouver. Like it's not the Flames anymore. I don't remember who's I can look here and
didn't the Hawks fall down?
It's the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
For the longest time, the Blackhawks were doing a little bit better, but then they had to play because at the end of the season you play your divisional rivals a lot more.
Yeah.
Last Blackhawks kind of got cooked because they had to play like the Mammoth, the Wild, the Stars, and the Avalanche
Right.
for that last bit. So they didn't get a lot of points in the ending stretch. But overall, I felt like Hughes' numbers, and I can say it as a Canuck as somebody who got to see him in person and play a hockey game. That man is a difference maker. That man will carry a team. That man can be the difference maker. Like, and Kaprizov and Hughes, I feel like the Wild can get it done. The only thing I could see them losing to is the fact that if they come off of a long series and then play like a powerhouse team, that's the only thing that I can feel will stop this team in the playoffs.
Yeah, and
Oh shit.
that's what's
What
gonna
do you mean
happen.
they got a long series against the Stars and then have to play a Colorado Avalanche? What is this, Batman?
Yeah, it's
The only reason they could lose is the situation they're put in.
I think for these three teams, for only one of them to make it to the conference final, it sucks so bad, but that's just kind of how it shook up this year. We always feel like there's this weird logjam, especially Avalanche and Dallas are always like someone's getting the short end of the stick in terms of matchup, but that's
Well,
how
we
it's
had
going.
last year we had the Golden Knights coming with like two guys coming off of injury, like the injury reserve. Because remember, this year we don't have the injured. That there's a salary cap in the playoffs now.
Right.
Um, Last year we had the Golden Knights versus who did they play? Did they play the Stars round one? I think last year.
I don't
I
think
can't
so.
remember. The Golden Knights were the eighth wild card. They were the last wild card team in the West.
Hmm.
So they went to the central. They went and slotted into the Central Division slot. Winnipeg. Oh, they played. They played Winnipeg.
No,
Or was
Winnipeg played the
Winnipeg with the
Blues.
Presidents? Hmm?
Winnipeg played the Blues in the first round.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I'm thinking. I'm thinking about a couple years ago. This was a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
When it was the Avalanche and Jets, and then Golden Knights and Stars. That was a logjam
Right.
because those three Central teams plus Vegas were all like everyone's favorite teams to come out, but they would all have to play against, in our opinions, the top four teams, and that's just what this format creates.
Yeah. And you can even see by the splits here, like they're just so close and you know, uh technically on paper Dallas is, the better team, more point production, more just a better regular season team. But I'm gonna honestly say that I think Minnesota has more game breakers. I think they're the difference maker. I understand Dallas has Ottinger and how good he is, but I think Wallstat is good. I think Minnesota has a good backup as well.
Yep.
I don't think I really have a hard time finding a weakness in Minnesota's roster that isn't just experience. And I think this is finally when Minnesota breaks out of the second round. I know that they've been stuck losing in the first round for a while, only like one second round appearance, but they've been consistent in making the playoffs. They've only missed like once in the last like what 10 years or something. Um, they're consistent. They're good, and I think this is their step up year. I think Hughes is a game breaker and
Yes.
pushes them over the edge. I take Minnesota. I think they can score at will, and they will be able to break through Andre. And Dallas's strong defense, but I think this is going seven overtime.
I have it. I have this as a 7 game series as well. Same outcome. So right now our this looks good. We do have to finish up the West before you can lock in your games numbers.
Okay,
Are you gonna lock in that series as 7 though?
I'm locking in Dallas, Minnesota seven.
All right. Can I tell you about what happened in the game yesterday?
Did Dallas like beat Minnesota like by 10 goals or something?
Um, what I said at the beginning of this was Andre was a question mark, and let's see what his playoff performance is without DeBoer being like leaning over his neck and like drooling on his back.
Okay,
Andre didn't show up. Andre was like the shit.
really?
Yeah, he wasn't like the good shit either. He was like the bad shit, and it was like what was it 6-1 or something stupid? It was bad.
6-1. Yeah, all right.
um,
I mean,
I don't think it's gonna be something like that again. That was a Saturday game. Yeah, 6-1.
6-1 Minnesota. Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it also wasn't particularly close.
I think an important thing though is that Dallas is a heavy team, and that especially their back end, they will wear you down. And I think that Dallas will get better as this series goes on. So I'm not surprised for Minnesota to come out strong, put a bunch of goals out. But I think the series will get tighter. I think the defense
Yeah,
and the goaltending will show up. I think the fatigue will show up on their star players for Minnesota, where Dallas has a lot of depth scoring and depth toughness. I think it'll get closer, but I think just Minnesota has the game
Ben won't let
breakers.
them. Ben won't let um the the Stars go down like without fighting.
Yeah.
They will be kicking and dragging and screaming their way down.
Yep. I agree.
And then the Felinos will go out there and cause a ruckus.
All right. So let's
I
get
don't think
to
that series is gonna be nasty. All right, Golden Knights, Mammoth. Who do you got?
honestly, this was really hard for me because this is the one that like I didn't for the rest of these I had pretty much a decision made for almost every other series in the There's only one other one where it's like, I just have no idea. This one I have no idea. I mean, Vegas is doing great, and I know that since getting a new head coach, they have been excellent. They have Marner, who people have debated how he should be played. If Vegas has been playing him as a center. Do you remember like as the new coach? What's his face? Guy that's on. Oh, he's so annoying. He gets fired. Columbus Jackets old coach, Flyers old coach. What's his name? John? No, not John. Tortorella. Yeah, John Tortorella. Right?
Yeah.
Has John Tortorella been playing Marner in the last like 10 games or so that he had
Yep.
at wing or center?
Uh, I he played wing last night, but he played center for a few games. I don't know. David, I don't know if you can see this picture that I have.
Oh my
Um, that I pulled up.
god. No.
This
No.
was this was what happens when you hire Tortorella
Oh my
on your
gosh.
team.
My
That was that
question
stupid high sticking call that he got called for in the Toronto Montreal series
was that high sticking or
when
was
Toronto
that
was up.
you mean puck over glass? That was puck over glass, right?
Was it puck over glass? I thought Nylander was puck over glass and he was high sticking.
No, Nylander took the first stick. That was dumb, and then Marner just floats it out over the glass. That's what I remember, because I
Okay,
remember just
I
like
remember both of them sitting in the box.
yeah, because I remember
And
like
it was like the series
Marner.
turning point, and the sad Mitch Marner.
It has to be because Nylander never played penalty kill in that series. It was Marner that was on the penalty kill, and
Oh yeah,
he's the one that
Marner. Oh yeah, so Marner had to have been puck over glass.
yeah. Um. So like Marner and Eichel, right? Do you think they'd be dynamic? But they're both kind of pass first guys. Now they have Pavel Dorofeyev, who has been scoring like
Oh,
excellent clip.
Stoner is healthy.
And that's big. He's a guy that can definitely get a lot of. He's been a playoff performer. We've seen it. He shows up. He does pretty good. And so it's just can they actually get that goal score? That's been a problem for them in the past. I mean, they played Montreal, and when they played Dallas, they had problems, actually scoring goals in the playoffs. But now they have a few more playmakers. If a few guys just decide to shoot instead of pass first, um, they're a really strong team. But there's so many like red flags almost in their overtimes. They're real. You take them and you throw them in the East, and they're just like wild card team almost. Um,
I dig the Sens over them in the East.
oh yeah, that's true. Um, but then you take okay, they have experience. They have been to the playoffs several times. For Utah, this is all new to a lot of people. Yeah, I know they acquired some, experience, depth, and they have like Sergachev who played like a billion games in
Can you
like
pull
two
up their
years.
lineup?
Yeah, I can. Let's Mammoth. Um, but for a lot of these guys, they're young. This is new
Yeah.
for them. Um, so they're a question mark. It's really hard to predict that team that's like pretty decent, pretty good, solid. No like really
Oh, they
bad.
traded Uyghur for Oli Mata. That's right.
Yeah.
Downgrade.
Downgrade, you say.
That's my Knights fan and me talking.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Um, you know, these are both also like goalies that you don't know. There's a lot of question. Like, sure they're solid, but what's the like? We haven't seen them in the playoffs, so it's really hard to predict for them what's
Yep.
gonna happen. So because of that, and I like Vegas's defense. They've always been able to shut the door. It's just been a matter of can they score. I think against Utah, it's not going to matter. I think they've got the experience. I think they've got the toughness. And I do think they have enough guys that are able to perform. The puck will find its way through Utah. Um, maybe next year, the year after, when Utah's got more playoff experience, guys have taken a step, maybe get one more solid piece in there or stability on the back end, besides, just one or two pieces, then I could see Utah being a force in the division for a few years to come. But right now, I just don't think they can take it against Vegas right now.
I have the Mammoth in the series. Because this is my wild pick series. Um, I didn't. Didn't expect much. I didn't look at the numbers for their goaltending after the Torts hiring, but turns out that Torts being there has increased Hart save percentage by like 40%. He was like 880, and now he's like 920.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so he's looking like the Carter Hart before the one that spent all the time in the courtroom in my hometown. It was
Oh,
so great.
really?
I used to go down to the market, and there's like all these vans and stuff around the courthouse from like all across the hockey world. Like, oh, guess the trial's going on.
Interesting. That's cool.
I yeah. I was supposed to. Was told to do jury duty, and the second thing on the line was, do you watch hockey? I was denied. So I know exactly what I was called to do for jury duty.
Very, very interesting.
Very very interesting. I know it's very interesting.
There is one
All
thing
right.
about this series that we didn't talk about. A huge factor.
The choking factor of Mitch Marner in the playoffs.
No.
Okay.
The Zamith.
Zaddy?
The Zamith.
What's the Zammoth?
Oh, you didn't see the mammoth Zamboni that they showed?
Oh yes. Oh no, yeah. The Zammoth clears. So that's why the series is 4-2. Um,
Interesting. So you have them winning in six. You have Utah winning in six.
um, I should have changed it to be 7, because if it goes to game 7, um, the
Marner.
Demons are gonna come back for one
Yeah.
player. I'm saying it so then I can like it can get out, because when that man played on the London Knights, he had no playoff demons. He was a playoff god.
And
The
he's
only
back
thing
with the
that stopped.
Knights. He's back with the Knights.
I know, and he's back in '93.
Yeah.
The only thing that stopped him, he had. I'm gonna tell you this right now, David. Um, I'll pull up. Wait, uh, uh, okay, what years were they? One championship. We gotta go here. Um,
While you pull that up, it's worth noting for me that I actually have Vegas in six. I think they'll come out pretty strong in the series. But Utah will put up a fight.
um, I'll find the original one.
All right. Well, we'll get started on
Yep.
Edmonton Anaheim while you look for that. The
You gotta talk about that, because
the
that's
Orange Bowl. You here for the
yeah.
Orange Bowl? I'm here for the Orange Bowl. Now, Anaheim, young team. I didn't have much expectations. Maybe some other people who are smarter than me did. And we're like, yeah, like the Ducks are on the rise. They got like a Seneca who's doing awesome in the rookie race. He passed Kapanen for goals, which makes me sad. Uh,
Mhm.
I was hoping that we'd finish like Demidov points, Jakub Dobish wins, and Kapanen goals, but second Seneca passed him for rookie goal scoring. Um, Ducks won a lot in overtime. They went to the what's it called? They went to like shootouts a lot and they won. So it's a testament to them. They did win those games for sure. Can't take that away from them. But overtime in the playoffs is 5-on-5. It's not 3-on-3. There's no shootouts. And being able to finish games is really important. It's worth noting that I think the Ducks, before I left, because I missed the last like 2 games of the season, the Ducks were going on a pretty bad skid. They were dropping. They were bleeding the division, and they went on a really bad losing streak. I think they only had like, I don't know, 4 wins out of their last like, 15 games to end the season, something like that, maybe like something more recently, maybe like 2-8, I think. Um, they kind of fell apart. Are they for real? Was this just a good hot start in a weak division? Is it just too early for them, or can they actually like pull something off?
Um, so I've called up all the Toronto fans have called up McDavid and said, "Hey, I know you're from you're a local Toronto guy. Can you give the Leafs a hand?" And I have this series being a 4-1 for the Oilers, and it's the revenge game for McDavid watching Gudis take out Crosby in the Olympics. And we know that I can tell you this right now. Overtime would have been different. The whole game would have been different if Crosby was on that bench. The whole vibe for Canada would have been so different if Crosby was on that bench.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Crosby wasn't on that bench, so Canada did not win that game. But that would happen because Gudis was there. He also took out Austin Matthews, that American captain.
And is
So
the question, is he going to take out McDavid?
all the Leafs fans are calling to tell McDavid, "Hey, can you do this?" And McDavid feels personal resentment against what Gudis did. So McDavid isn't a revengeful guy. He's not going to go out there and knee Gudis, but he is going to go out there and get 5 points uh, uh, every game to absolutely eviscerate the Ducks from the playoffs and send them back to Orange County.
And McDavid overtook Kucherov, I think, in the last week of the season for the Hart race, leading goal scorer or leading point getter. Sorry.
Points.
Um, Now, what happens if Radko takes his knee
Oh,
out?
look at this. Regular season. Good area. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
What if Gudis takes out McDavid's knee, or you know?
Oh,
And
if Gudis takes out McDavid's knee, if the Gudis can't fly back to Canada. Because you have to remember that he took out Captain Canada, Captain of the Leafs, and Canada's best player. The Gudis will be shot dead in the street.
it's what he does, and there's someone else on this team, is likes to drop kick players in the chest during the playoffs. Um, I I'm gonna be honest.
We both hate the Ducks, don't we?
We do. They've got some dirty players, but they've got really good young players like Seneca,
Oh yeah.
Gauthier, McTavish,
Carlson.
Carlson. Like they're bright. And Jackson Lacombe, is he not? Oh, he is
No.
listed here. He is listed here. Jackson Lacombe, he's like Hudson, but slightly worse.
We've mentioned all these evil players, and we haven't talked about Truba yet. Like that's
Yeah, so they're not a weak team. Like, so a lot of teams that are young that go in the playoffs, they're soft. They're maybe gonna get bullied a little bit in their first round. That happened to Montreal last year. It happened to Crosby the first time he made the playoffs. Happened to Edmonton. I know they won their first round, but like a lot of times, a younger team squeaks into the playoffs. They get taught the hard way
yeah.
about playoff hockey. That's not gonna happen to the Ducks, and that's why I think this series is interesting. At the end of the day, I think though, like we're burying the lead. Just talk like not. We haven't even talked about Draisaitl, Kasperi Kapanen. Oh, he's not. Is he out though? Is he out?
Yeah, but he's not. He hasn't played. He hasn't played, and they haven't ruled him out. I don't think he's gonna play game one.
Game time decision for game one. Expected to play game time decision. We've seen Draisaitl
like,
on one
this
leg.
He's been pushed a lot more. I don't feel like the moment the moment they lose a game, he's in.
Right.
Originally, I was saying the moment they're facing elimination, he's in, but I've changed it. I've changed it because it's the whole thing. If Draisaitl plays, the series is over. If Draisaitl doesn't play, the series has a chance of life.
Who's the starter? Has it been named actually?
They could start.
Okay, Ingram has been.
They could start Grant Fuhr and have the same outcome.
Yeah, Ingram has been named starter.
Bro. They don't need goaltending.
That's true.
This series isn't about goaltending, bro. This series is about goal scoring. This is the worst two defensive rating teams in the playoffs, bro. It's not close.
And I think that Edmonton this year is going to light them up. I think they just can't withhold. They can't stand up to the star power. But I was debating
tonight.
I was debating
it's going to be 18 goals. Oh, pick the over on the goals.
Definitely hit the over. I was gonna like give it Edmonton a sweep, but just when I thought about it, I was like, the team's tough. They're not gonna get bullied.
No.
They can do some damage, and I don't see Edmonton as a bully kind of team.
Oh
Like they're not
no,
big and
they don't have
strong
any
to do
bullies.
that, but
Somebody's gonna hit
definitely
Drysaitel. That's my issue. That's the issue with the series. Somebody's gonna hit Drysaitel. Um, and it's not gonna be like a hard hit. It's just gonna be Drysaitel's weak right now.
right.
So
So I think we're both in agreement that Edmonton might not sweep, Anaheim will pull one out. They'll be in five, but
yeah,
there'll be some damage done to the Edmonton Oilers.
yeah.
Uh,
All right, now you get to pick
so I
your
said Colorado. I gave them sweep. This would be
You
really
said
funny.
9 for the yeah. You said 9 for the second
It'd
series.
be really funny if LA won the game like last night.
Um,
I well now
no,
that I locked it, I locked it in. I'm saying Colorado's gonna sweep. Did LA win when they
no,
played? Okay,
no, they
okay.
did not. They did. I don't even
Still
think they scored a goal, bro.
oh jeez. Then I had Vegas in six. You had
Oh, they scored a goal. I
Utah in
lied. They
six.
scored a goal. Doughty missed an empty net to like give them the lead. By the way.
Unlucky. And then you had okay. And then I had Edmonton in five. So we're similar agreement there.
All
Blue
right,
Eat.
I'm gonna pull up something here. I would like if you could show stream this epicness.
Yeah, it's up.
So here are the 2015. Here are the 2015 playoffs. We have Mitch Marner scores a shorthanded, Max Domi, Christian Dvorak, and then look at some of these names.
Mm-hmm.
Look at some of these names, bro. This was a 4-0 sweep. Erie Otters over the London Knights. These teams, like Radish, both
Domi.
Radishes, the Stromes, um,
Dermott, he did pretty good for
Dermott,
Montreal in the playoffs.
Dermott was there. DeBrinket was there. And then we go to the next year. Yeah, we got this guy. We added this guy
I see.
to the
Interesting.
team.
That's a very interesting guy, and we don't have to talk about him this year. We don't
No,
have to talk about that one.
yeah,
There's another one we'll talk about.
yeah. We'll talk about his evil thumb brother. But like they added the Otters added Sambrook. They added Eric Chernak, bro. Eric Chernak to the team.
These are some
Um,
crazy names.
and like the the fourth line was Robert Thomas. He was our fourth line guy, bro. Robert Thomas was our fourth line. Our first line was nasty.
It's crazy.
And guys who didn't suit up. There was a guy who didn't suit up in this game, Evan Bouchard. But there is one key player who is missing from this Erie Otters team, which changed the series from being favored in Erie's favor to favored in the Knights' favor in a 4-0 sweep. That is Connor McDavid. Mitch is 0-4 against Connor McDavid in the playoffs. And Marner did not lose when McDavid wasn't there. We don't have to talk about the year that Mitch Marner lost to Nick Suzuki, as where they got like reverse swept or anything like that.
So that's very interesting. So if Edmonton makes it out of Anaheim healthy, or even if Draisaitl goes down, if they still have McDavid, what you're saying is you think that Edmonton are going to just kind of blow up Vegas.
Vegas's goaltending isn't good enough.
It's not. I agree.
Dostal is a great goaltender, but he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna get. There's like no one defensively minded in front of him. But I feel like Hart's is gonna get lit up because it has to be another shootout, and Vegas will not win a shootout against the Oilers. If we're gonna go off that one, but I don't have that bracket looking like that. I have the Mammoth being there because I have the Golden Knights not being able to get through. I feel like somebody's gonna get injured. I didn't have faith in Hart. I didn't have faith in a lot of Vegas. We'll have to see. It's a long series. The game was close. The game was close last night. We also have to remember the Mammoth. You said it. Yesterday the Mammoth played their first ever franchise playoff game. The Golden Knights played their franchise's 102nd playoff game, which is insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
They've been in the league for 10 years and they already have that many playoff games. The Sabres have one playoff game as well in that time.
Right. So
Yeah.
I think,
I
but for
think we
both of
both have the
us,
same team
yeah,
pulling out in front here in the Pacific, though, right? In the
I,
Pacific.
I think yeah, for both of us, we're gonna go with the team as Blue points out has gone to the Cup final 3 straight years. They just have too much talent. I think that they're in the weakest section of
They're in the pillow fight division for a reason.
right. They're in the weakest quarter of the bracket, and they've got the best player in the game. It's pretty easy as long as Gudis doesn't hit his knee while Truba elbows his head and Kreider drop kicks him in net,
In the
then
nuts.
he'll be fine.
Yeah. That's I was gonna say, yeah. As long as that doesn't. I mean, and if that does happen, then the Ducks don't make it to the second round. We have this weird scenario where the second round is won by default because in Alberta, there's a lot more hunters and a lot more people who have firearms on their property. Unlike in Ontario, where there aren't as many firearms. I know, sorry to my American audience, it might be a sensitive topic, but here in Canada, we actually have laws and protections against it. Um, if you touch McDavid, there are no laws against it. You're allowed. The Prime Minister will show up, and Trump doesn't care about hockey, so it's all good.
That's true. That is very true.
Um, yeah.
Now, I would say that I would actually have Oilers beating Vegas in like six for you and Mammoth, similar six,
I would I would put it faster. I'd put it five.
five.
This will be a five series.
I think we're both like it's gonna be on the shorter end. It's like sometimes like it's like 5-6 versus like a 6-7 that like it's gonna be a long series, but it might end in six versus like Edmonton will
Because
come out to like 2-0 lead or maybe like a 3-1 lead and then you know.
Utah will be like, "Yay, we won the first round! I can't believe we won the first round."
Mhm.
And the Oilers will be like, McDavid will be like, "Job's not done." He'll be like Kobe Bryant, "Job's not done," and
Yeah.
because job's not done, job finished, job ain't finished.
Yeah, for like Edmonton, there's nothing until you're to the finals. It's as if nothing's happening, right? So
Yeah,
I think we both know Edmonton's gonna win that one. Now this is another really intense one: Avalanche and Wild.
the Wild have a chance in this year. In my opinion, the Wild have a very good chance
Hmm.
if they can beat the Stars cleanly and not in 9 games, like you say, with all the overtimes. Um, and they have as much rest as the Avalanche. I feel like the series could actually be a thing because all McKinnon has to do is hit the post a couple times, and then the Wild will be there. The Wild will be set.
Thing is, I feel that McKinnon, like
Doesn't hit 4 posts in the series.
I rag on him and I call him a fraud because of so many empty net goals and Caulfield's a better goal scorer, not hitting any empty net goals. But at the end of
Caulfield
the
also had to play
day,
in a harder division, bro. Like
it's
not even
true.
close.
It's true.
McKinnon played the Flames, the Blackhawks, and the Canucks 9 total games. 9 games against
Right.
them.
And I can, as much as like that's all true to me, I still think that McKinnon, after losing gold, being on the ice for having a giveaway, in the golden goal,
Oh yeah.
um, missing the empty net, I think he's motivated a different way, and I think we know what he looks like when he's a monster. Um,
God, he was so terrifying.
Lehkonen can do some crazy stuff in the playoffs. I think Martin
Lekkonen's already
Nietzsche's
done some crazy stuff in the playoffs. I forgot to tell you that.
Nelson and Nietzsche's have slotted in really good. Um, I, they've won before with Kadri. Um,
Yep. This I feel like this team is all the pieces around their team is better. They're weaker without Rantanen on the top end heavy, but they're a better team
yeah,
because
that's
Nature's
true.
is a better defensive forward. He can get points like the wind as well. Like I'm not taking that away from him. He's just not Rantanen. Rantanen is the highest performing winger in the playoffs. Because
But
Draisaitl and McDavid are both listed as forwards
the
or center
bonus
forwards.
here, Colorado doesn't have to face Ranton. If how it goes out the way that we're saying, like I'm gonna say actually, I think if Dallas is able to get through Minnesota, I think they'll get through Colorado. I
Yeah,
think like Rantanen's just done it before. He just throwing up goals left and right. But if they don't have to deal with an angry Rantanen, they've got the angry McKinnon, Makar, and Taves. They're all upset what happened in that gold medal game. I think they want to go out and I think they want to win a cup.
Yeah.
They have playoff performers. They're motivated. I think they're good. And like question is probably in net. Can the Woods handle the offensive onslaught from all of Minnesota's lines? Um, well, I guess the fourth line's not an offensive onslaught, but it's gonna be
Because I was just
painful.
saying those guys more like just crash the net.
Yeah, but they'll get in goalie's grill. They'll make their life
Yeah.
hard. If they can handle that on the back end, I have a hard time seeing Colorado lose this series. That being said, I still think it's going to seven.
Yeah.
And you have the same Colorado.
I have the same. I have Colorado coming out over the Wild. I just feel like the Wild series and the Star series is just going to be too much. The Avalanche are going to get a free win in game 1. I remember back in the was it? It was when Tampa played the Islanders in the was it bubble or was it the it was one of the worst playoff games I've ever watched. It was on my birthday, which is crazy because my birthday's in like the late half of June. So it was one of those years where the playoffs were late in the season. Um, and it was just one team came off of a long series and played like 2 days before, and it was a game that went past midnight, and the other team had like 4 days off of rest, and they played at home, and it was like 11-1, and it wasn't even like a good 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Avalanche are gonna get one of those free games because the Kings are clearly out of the like. The Kings are good, but compared to the three teams that are in their little quadrant there, they are out of the water.
They're in the
Those are
hardest
the
quarter.
best three teams in the
They're in
league.
the hardest quarter of the bracket. It's
Yeah.
it's it's the three-headed monster and the one little clown.
Clown. That's the Kings. The Kings are the clown.
Yeah, so I
So
think
I
I
I,
think
I
the
feel like I
rest
feel
that
like that.
Colorado has will be the advantage that you're talking about. You're right.
Yeah,
They'll
the
have a lot of
President's
rest.
Trophy is an actual big advantage in the earlier rounds of the playoffs. In the later rounds, it's not as big of an advantage. Even though home ice advantage is great,
Hmm.
teams haven't been able to prove that the President's Trophy uh, is a blessing yet.
And you know, a lot of the times the President Trophy team has to go up against a team that just fought for their lives for a month
Yeah,
straight, playoff hockey in the regular season, just scraping their way in the, like a team that's there, and then you might come in a little cold as that President's team. That's not what happened. LA kind of backed into that spot. Uh, so I think the rest that Colorado has will be the difference maker. Minnesota might come out with an injury, but I think we
I,
both have them
I, I
at
don't feel
seven.
like the full Minnesota Wild team walks away from the series with the Stars.
Right.
I feel like the full Avalanche team walks away from that series with the Kings,
Yeah. 100%.
and that's the difference maker.
Right. So
Can the
that's
Wild make it through without Boldy? Can they make it through without Kaprizov? Can they make it through without Hughes? My answer to that is no. But I do say that this will be my biggest one that'll be wrong. I feel like if Minnesota makes it through Dallas clean, I will swap my prediction, but my prediction has to be locked in because I can't predict in the second round.
right.
This is my bracket challenge. I can predict that when I pick it later on.
Right.
But right now, what are you feeling with the Oilers and Avalanche? Let's talk about that one. Finish this up.
It's just
Like
they always go at it. It's a tale that's old. And it just feels like sometimes it just ebbs and flows which team comes out on top. Sometimes even within the series, you'll
yeah,
find a game where Avalanche will spank the Oilers, like season's over, series over, and then Oilers next game come and spank the Avs. Um, this is a hard one. What I'm gonna say is the Edmonton Oilers have played a lot of hockey over the past 3 years. Um,
so have the
they've
Avalanche.
so have the Avs. That's true. But I think that this year kind of showed that the Oilers really did take a step back, in my opinion. Um, they're not as strong. I think they'll be come back next year better. I think they'll get some more rest maybe this year. That they'll have some injuries get healed up. That they'll have a chance to really solidify their goaltending situation. And that's because of the cap hit of McDavid. They're gonna get a lot of cap space, and they'll
Well, it's
be
exact.
able to do
He's
stuff.
getting paid the exact same amount, but the cap is going out.
Exactly. And I think that it's going to make a big deal. I think that if they're smart, that they can go and they can actually solve patch the holes that this team's actually had, and they'll be able to come back. But I think this year, like they're just, I think they got to refill the tank. They're out of gas right now. They just got to refill it. Um, and I think the
I'm agree.
Avs are just they're really good. Again, they're going to 7 in my opinion, but I think the Avs are coming out.
I agree. This series for me was too far into it. The series are usually 15 days
Right.
over 15, 16 days stretch. So we won't see the third round for a month
Mm-hmm.
now, at least a month plus a couple days because they all have each series has rest days. Um, so we won't see this. What is it's April right now?
Mm-hmm.
We won't see this series until the end of May.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that can go on, and it's too far out for me to truly say yes or no. But I feel like the Avalanche are just. I have to pick them, and I agree. I agree with you. I'd pick the Avalanche. For me, for the Oilers, what they need to do is they have 2 more years after this year. They have 2 more years with McDavid. McDavid has said, "You have 2 more years with me, and that's all that matters. You have 2 more years. Figure it out." And that's what his contract says. Part of it, like it clearly states, you have 2 years to surround me with everything that you possibly could surround me with, or else we don't know what the future has. If I'm him, I'm walking away from the Oilers. He can't win. If he can't win in Canada, then Canada won't win a cup for a long time. I don't see the pieces. They've got no like prospects in the pool. Their draft capital's like gone. Um, I don't see how they refuel David at all. I really don't. Uh, and McDavid doesn't need rest. Drysdale needs rest. McDavid doesn't need rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me though, goaltending they traded. Stuart Skinner was better than Tristan Jarry. I don't know why they traded them. That was like the stupidest trade ever. You
I
take a
think.
goalie that is proven to take you to the Cup final,
Yeah.
who isn't good, and you trade him for an even bigger wild card who's not been proven at all. So
Yeah. Definitely better roster construction around the edges will help, and I think they'll have the chance to do that. But right now, it is what it is. I think the goaltending is a problem. And listen, like Edmonton, I don't think all season they've won like 3 times in a row in regulation. Like they've had a hard time putting together a dominant streak, and I think that's a
but
testament.
McJesus could always just go McJesus mode and win.
But he has been, and sometimes it's not enough.
He hasn't. No, he hasn't. He hasn't been quite the level of like that the year where he won Conn Smythe on the losing team. He's not like that this year. He's dominant. He's strong, but he's not like he's the best player in the league. But he's not that much above everyone. He's not that far ahead of McKinnon. He's not that far ahead of Kucherov this year. Like there are certain times where it's just like, oh well, like nothing's stopping him.
Right.
Also, the Pacific is just a cakewalk. The other thing is that do the Avalanche? There's just too much in this series because do the Avalanche get killed by the Felinos? Do the Felinos take out too many of the players on the Avalanche? Like that's another thing I just don't know about. Like how
I
rough
think the Avalanche
how
have the depth though that like anyone besides McKinnon or McCarr goes down. Like I think they're
yeah, but
fine.
what if one of those two guys do go down?
I- Maybe, but like I feel like with Edmonton, you lose a few depth pieces, and it's just McDavid on an
What does it
island.
matter? The team is McDavid and Drysaitel and Hyman and sometimes Nuge.
And I think it's too much of an island. I think it's just too much of an island. That's why I'm confident in Colorado in 7. I just think that it's too much of an island. But they'll
I agree
have
with you.
at least McDavid's giving them the chance to do a better roster construction, but obviously that's not this year. And so for this year, I think for me it's a cakewalk to take the Avalanche. Now I want to go to the East. We'll
All
start
right, East.
on the bottom of the Battle of Pennsylvania. What are
Queensland.
you feeling? What are you thinking? I'll let you start.
4-2 Penguins. Um, that's what I have it as. Flyers are happy to be here. I they got some really good young pieces, but this is the old core's last dance. This is the last dance.
Right.
Um, like Tippett is great. Martone has been going great. I've already told you about Dvorak. Number 52 over there, my goat, Memorial Cup winning captain of the London Knights. Yeah, Christian Dvorak was Memorial Cup winning captain of the London Knights. Same with Denver Berkey, Memorial Cup winning captain for the London Knights. And that's who I feel.
Rasmus Ristolainen making the playoffs for like the first time in his career, and he's been in the career for what since I was in high school, dude.
Yeah.
Now, here's my reserve. The Penguins, much older, much more brittle, in my opinion, and not as strong. Of their own admission, they weren't supposed to be, right? They thought they were sellers at the beginning, um, Dubas at the beginning of the season, going for kind of lateral moves that try to get him futures. Whereas the Penguins, yeah, they've had a rough go. They've been at one point, I think they wanted to fire their coach, but they've gotten a lot of young pieces. They've gotten like good goaltending in how do you say his name?
Carl Vomalka.
Yeah,
Is that their goalie for the?
uh, last Vladar, not Vlamelka,
Yeah,
Vladar,
Vladar. Yeah.
Vlamilk, Vlamilk. I don't know how to say that.
Vomalka's for a different team.
Okay, I meant Vladar. Sorry, their
Yeah.
names are similar. Um, they've got good goaltending. Whereas Penguins have a question mark in that they're younger. And yeah, that oftentimes means like team comes in without experience, but I see Penguins on their last legs, and I just see a last ditch effort, and I don't see a team on the up. I see a team on the down. I feel like this is just not going to end well for the Penguins. I really do think that the Flyers are the better team, even though in the regular season they weren't as good. But they turns out I didn't know that they finished at the same points, but
Yep.
I'm willing to bet, yeah, like underlying numbers for the Penguins are better. Um, I think it's finally like Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Carlson. I think they're finally just enough. They're done. This is their last dance, but I don't think they'll have the magical moments. I think they'll all be dispersed coming in the next couple. On the off season, I think they'll all be dispersed to different teams. I think Malkin would be a good fit. Maybe even like Toronto. Um, Latang's probably gonna. He seems like an Oiler to me. Carlson might retire. If not, like just a
Well, Tang's retiring before Carlson retires, bro. Carlson's like 5 years younger.
yeah, but he's had injuries, and so has Latang, I guess. But like,
Tang's injuries have been worse.
I
He's
could,
missed a lot of games.
I could see Carlson just being like, all right, if I'm not a superstar, I'm out of here. Every interview, it feels like that guy doesn't like ice hockey.
I know. I know.
So, yeah, I could see the Kings trying to bolster their team with some of those guys. Just those old guys moving on. We didn't mention Crosby, just probably like a Montreal or
Crosby's
something
not
like
done, bro.
that.
He was so close with the Olympics until Gudis said "fuck you."
Yeah, so like I could see, but I don't see him with the Penguins. I think he'll go somewhere else.
So
Just a
you're taking the
young.
Flyers, Billy boy.
Yeah, I'm taking the Flyers, and
Disagree.
think
In
that
how many games?
it's gonna be 7. I think it's gonna go a long series.
All right, Pesky Sens versus the third round chokers.
It's the first round. I think Carolina, from my recollection, haven't they swept like 3 out of the 4 last first rounds?
Yes,
I
because they played like the Islanders, and the Islanders just the Islanders and the Hurricanes are built the exact same way. It's just
the Hurricanes are better.
the Hurricanes are better. But now Schaefer's in town, so it could be interesting in a couple years.
Yeah, but I love the way the Hurricanes are built. I've always loved them.
Their coach is great.
Their coach is great. I always think that
Anderson's good.
they're gonna break the curse, and I think that they're gonna. This is the team I always pick to go to the final, and they never do. They always choke it out. But I see an opening this year. There's no Panthers to come here and touch them.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't like the way the Senators are built. I think they have young
You don't like you
pieces.
don't yeah Habs fan talk about how bad the Senators are for me. Go.
They have good pieces, right? They have good young pieces, but like when you don't have any strong insulation around them, you're just leaving it on them. And if the locker room goes sour, there could be problems. I mean, they haven't had a good relationship with their goalie, and I think he's
The
a
goalie they have a good relationship with their goalie right now, brother. They've had a really good one.
no
They've become way stronger and they've rallied around their goaltender.
his buddy. What's Buddy's name? He used to be a Bruin.
Olmark?
Allmark,
He's
yeah,
back. He's healthy.
he's healthy.
He
He's
needed
back.
yeah. He needed a mental health break. He's good. There's no
he's back, but like and to me, he's the star. Like he's the strength of the team. If they're gonna win, it's
yeah.
because Linus Allmark is in net, and
Oh,
compared to the goaltending of Carolina, like what are they gonna start? Is Carolina just gonna go with Reimer or Bussy?
oh, remember they have Anderson.
That's what I meant. Former
Anderson.
Leaf, the other former Leaf, the old former Leaf. Why did I think Reimer? Oh,
Uh,
Reimer's on the Sens, isn't he? Is Reimer on the Sens? Yeah, he is.
Reimer's on the Suns.
That's why the other old former Leaf, Anderson.
Bussy's been playing great, but Anderson locked it down.
And so, like, yeah, I think Ottawa's goaltending is actually their strength, but like, it's been the problem throughout the season. And they've had games where, yeah, they can play defensive, they can shut it down, but they'll give up like 3 goals on 14 shots, and
Yeah.
it's like it's enough to lose. And um, I don't know.
I don't feel like the Suns have a chance in this series.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they're gonna win a game. I think the Canes
How
are
many
gonna
goals do you
sweep.
think they're gonna score?
I think they'll be able to put up goals. They have goal scoring. Like as much
Well,
as
they
I want to
didn't
make
have any
fun,
last game.
they didn't. They got shut out. I didn't watch
They
the
got
game,
shut out.
but I think they have like their young core is good. Matheson, Stutzela, Kachuk, Cousins, Grigg, Pinto, Cousins. Like
When I say Cousins twice, but then realize that there's two Cousins on the team.
Cousins and Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like Montepalo's been a good story for them. Come in and done good. Lassie Thompson, wasn't he like a really late draft pick that's come in and gave
Yeah.
them games? Like so they've hit on this, but like their
Oh, their
team
draft
is
picks have
young.
been hits.
The
Like
team is young
they have
and
very
immature.
few misses.
I would say the biggest problem is they're immature, and Carolina is the opposite of that. Carolina plays
They're the
the
most
most mature,
experienced team in the East, outside of one team.
right? And I think that's just they're gonna expose the Senators. I think the Senators are gonna get exposed, and Canes are deep. All their lines are
Oh,
good.
can I tell you what happened? Can I tell you what happened the first like 3 seconds of the game?
One of two. Let me get. I have two guesses.
Right. Yep.
Stutzla dove.
3 seconds into the game. Come on,
Stutzla
man.
off the face-off dove, or Kitchuk took a dumb penalty and got scored on.
He didn't take a dumb penalty. He fought. It was captain fight at the middle of the center ice.
Aho.
Yep. So we got to sit for the first 5 minutes.
Wait, he
Him and
fought
Stahl.
Aho.
He
Oh,
fought Stahl.
Stahl's their captain, not Aho. I didn't know that.
Of course, yes. So Stahl's still there, bro.
Oh,
Stahl hasn't left.
that's true.
He still has a C. He's just old man on the third line.
That's true. I didn't think about that. So like, that's not a trade I would take.
I know they did that. Like that was a stupid trade.
Amadio is good. They have good. They have so many good players. They're just all young and all immature. Like, it's just like I said, Stützle is just
Like
screams
if you're
immature to
Kachuk,
me.
if you're smart, like yeah, like you don't want to. That's not one guy you want to fight. If you want to like, You can't really fight anyone on their team because like that's a bad trade.
Right. And to me, Kachuk leads them in the immaturity. Like, if he was a better captain, I think it would go better. But I think he's not a good captain. I think the whole team is immature. For all of these players that I'm thinking of, besides like Giroux and like Michael Amadio, I think, or no,
Yeah.
Jake Batherson's not pretty good. So like, I'd go Stutzla, Kachuk, both cousins, Pinto, Greg. They've all had huge parts in this season or last season where it's just like you're single handedly being immature and costing your team games. And I just look at them. I don't think they have a good locker room. I don't think they have a good captain. I don't think they have good anything. And there, there's so much talent there, but I think Carolina's got the no. They know how to play hockey in general, and I think they're gonna smoke the. I think it's gonna be a sweep.
Do you want to tell? You want to say what you? So you say sweep in that series? All right. I have 4-2. Pesky Sens will take 2 games. That's about it. Um, it might be down. They might go down in 5, but like I feel like yeah. Do you want to talk about the Hurricanes versus the Pennsylvania team?
I wanna I wanna jump to Buffalo and Boston.
All right.
Because this
I
is
have
a
I
fun
have, I
series.
have Buffalo. I have Buffalo in 7. I will not speak any more about this series. I cannot say anything else. You have to watch the third period.
All right, I'll go watch it. I'll go watch it after this. But to me, these are two kind of fun teams. Like I think this is gonna be a fun series. I think Buffalo's a great story. It's a really good feel good story. Doesn't really make sense, but they're here. And Boston, they're not the same Bruins. They're not. I understand, Pasternak, Zatka, and Lindholm are still there, but their best pieces are all really young.
Mm-hmm.
And like the emergence of Middlestat, Geeky, Minton, um, these have been the good stories. Mason Laura, like, um, and so it's a really good mix of veterans and rookies. They still have solid goaltending. And so it's to me, it's like, which Bruins are we getting? Are we getting have the Bruins ingrained in the younger players how to play Bruin hockey? If so, like I think they get the edge. That being said, Sabres, they're playing a loose hockey, they're playing fun, everything's just good vibes. How much do you think Magic can take the Buffalo Sabres?
We're talking about Marvel Rivals Magic or like New York Magic.
I'm taught we're not gonna talk about Marvel Rivals Magic because we will get banned off Twitch, but talking about in New York Magic also, let's be careful. We're not talking about anything bad there because that means a drug. So we're talking
Oh,
about
does? Oh, okay. Um, Buffalo Wonder Snow.
Wonder Snow. Yes.
Yeah. Like
So
Super Mario Wonder when like everything goes crazy
yeah.
and you take snow like stuff that looks like snow and it makes you crazy.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like Leafs fan base has like they've gone split 3 ways, 4 ways. Oilers, Canadians, Sens, and Sabres. So luckily for them, they only get a quarter of Leafs Nation, so they're not going to be fully cursed. So I feel like they have got a chance in this series.
I think it's important to note they have home ice advantage. I think it was like excellent for them to clinch. Listen, they weren't in a playoff spot until like what the Olympic break, and then they took first in the
To not make
Atlantic.
the playoffs to winning the division for the first time in years, I've only heard of one other team do that.
Yeah.
That team is now last in the league with the best odds of getting a convicted felon.
Okay, man. Um, 100%. I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be a 7 game series. I think the Bruins they're just Bruins, but I think it's important to note that Buffalo's gone in hot to take the lead in the Atlantic, whereas Boston they haven't been good in their last couple. Their month of April, didn't they only win like 1 game?
Uh, uh, who? Who? Sorry,
Boston.
Boston. No, they did. They won a couple more games than that.
I thought Boston was doing pretty bad in the checking. Yeah, Bruins in their last 10 have a 5-3-2 record. Okay, maybe it's not as bad as I thought. They were ahead of the Canadians at one point. They were looking like they were fighting with the Habs, and they kind of tailed off. And I think Buffalo separated themselves. I think this year, the Magic's gonna continue. I think they're gonna make the second round. So I'm taking Sabres in 7. You said Sabres in how many?
Sabres in 7.
Sabres in 7. All right, then the funny, the funny.
Okay, so I have pulled up the 2024 Stanley Cup playoff bracket.
Okay.
The Tampa Bay Lightning lost 4-1 in the first round to the team that won the Stanley Cup final. I'm going to pull up the 2025 because the last one was 2024.
Right.
The Tampa Bay Lightning lost 4-1 to the team that won the Stanley Cup final.
Right. Both teams were red.
Florida beat went on and beat everybody. They dominated the Atlantic, and they beat all the teams that they needed to. They beat a team from New York. They beat a Canadian team. And then you look at here, they beat a team from beat a Canadian team, beat the third round chokers, and beat another Canadian team. That's how it goes. I feel like the Tampa Bay Lightning, if they didn't face the Florida Panthers in the first round 2 years in a row, could easily have made it deeper into the playoffs.
And that's true. And this is a even split. They're not only are their season points the same, but their record in the Atlantic is identical.
Yeah.
I
know you were looking at tiebreakers because you wanted to see how it was all going.
Exactly.
Really care.
So
you actually cared because you wanted home ice advantage.
Exactly, and the Lightning Habs, they are so even. This is this other most even series where but Montreal, people are like, oh, maybe they're young. Now I'm with you, Blue. I'm tired of the Panthers being in the playoffs. I'm happy to have a bracket without having to be like, okay, the Panthers are gonna, they might lose, but they might just punch somebody in the back of the head and win because of it. So this is the other Florida team, and people were saying like, oh, Montreal doesn't have the playoff experience that Tampa has. Remember that Montreal faced off against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Cup final.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, that's a different team. Carey Price, Shea Weber, Ben Chiarot, Jeff Petrie. Philippe Deneau was on that team. And he's back. Gallagher was on that team. Anderson was on that team. Evans was actually technically on that team, but he was injured by a certain Scheifele.
Yeah, Scheifele killed him into the post or the end boards because I remember Scheifele had blood in his eyes or his eyes were like a demon, bro. You know when Infernape goes in or Chimchar goes into
blaze mode
on the anime?
Yeah.
That was Scheifele. He had white. He had the ability called Whiteout. Powers up all ice type moves.
Right. But
and he had
what
ice
people forget
on the end boards for
What people forget was that there were two players on that team, and now you're not going to forget because they combined for an overtime goal. Caulfield and Suzuki were on that team, and there were huge reasons why they went to that Cup final. They were out of line with Toffoli. I remember
when Philip Deneau gave the slice of pizza to Caulfield.
Right.
That was so iconic, bro.
So Montreal has playoff experience. The whole team got a huge taste with your younger guys like Hudson, Goulet, Slavkovsky, Demidov. They got a taste, and Dobesh too, the goalie, got a taste against the Washington Capitals, who I think Montreal kind of exposed that yes, they're the better team and that Montreal wasn't ready, but they exposed that Washington wasn't as good as they thought, and Montreal is better than you think. Montreal has 3 of the top 5 rookies of this year. They have Demidov, who has the the points production, the best points for any of the rookies. Kapanen, who was second best goals. and Jakub Dobish, who was the most rookie wins. 29 wins on the season for the rookie, and he split time with Montembeault and Fowler. So he came out as the best, the number one. He has experience last playoffs. You have goal scoring throughout the lineup. You have Demidov, who is a game breaker. And to me, Caulfield gets 50 goals. Everyone can talk about Caulfield, Suzuki getting 100 points, Hudson winning the Calder last, and now like having a better season. Um,
He's gonna get Norris votes for top 5, but he's not gonna win it.
sure.
He needs to get, like, if I was a reporter, I would have given him the 5th place Norris votes.
So maybe you don't have a top one or even a top three defenseman. You have a top five defenseman. You have
Oh, he's young
a
as well.
you
Like,
have a you don't have the best
second season.
you don't have the best goal scorer, but you have clearly a top goal scorer. You don't have the best number one center, but you have clearly a top five guy. You don't have the
One guy.
best rookies, but you have three of the top five. And for me, the biggest guy that everyone overlooks after all these monsters are named, Yuri Slavkovsky, has stepped it up this season. 30 goals, 70 points. Um, I
I was a doubter. I'm a doubter. I'm a doubter.
You're a
I'm a
doubter of
doubter.
Slavkovsky.
Yeah.
I don't. I think he's gonna be the difference maker. I think that he is built for playoff hockey. I think the Olympics show how powerful he is, how amazing
What
he
about
is.
Josh Anderson?
And Anderson's. I was like, Anderson's always a playoff guy, and he does really good against teams wearing white and blue. Anderson actually wasn't Anderson the one that scored the overtime winner for the only game that Montreal won against the Cup Finals against Tampa. It was
Yep.
Anderson.
Yep. Yep.
So Anderson always shows up in the playoffs. He showed up against Washington. I understand maybe he wasn't on the score sheet, but he stepped up to Tom Wilson, the biggest tough guy in the league. And on top of that, you have Jack
Biggest tough guy. You
Eyes.
mean the biggest baby in the league?
Wilson. Yeah, yeah. And Tampa's got killers. Tampa's Kucherov himself is a goal scorer. Second place scoring. Yeah, he's insane. He'll get in the action. Hagel
God,
record
like,
year.
look at the right side, bro. That right side is nasty.
Paul Hagel. They're goal
Four
scorers.
guys. All 4 guys.
Paul and Hagel, right? They're record years for both of them. Hagel, I think, 38 goals, almost 40. Paul, also having a great year.
Yanni Gord was a part of the best third line in hockey
Yeah,
for years.
Gord. All of these guys are guys that, get involved in a scrum, but I'm going to be honest. When I watched them against the Florida Panthers, they get bullied. And they tried to bully Montreal this year. They tried to go after
Yeah,
Hudson.
but I gotta state that the Florida
There's no
Panthers
right.
didn't play fair.
And that's true. And
The
that's
Florida
true. But
Panthers.
Jack doesn't play fair. Arbor Jack doesn't play fair.
No,
And
no, I'm not talking. No, I'm not talking about like hockey. They had a team that was like $28 million over a $85 million salary cap, bro.
the Lightning did the same
2
thing.
years in a row.
The Lightning did the same thing. When the Lightning beat the
Yeah,
Habs, they were like
They
40.
were 14. They were $14 million over, not 28. How do you get Brad Marchand and Seth Jones as bonus money, bro? And say, oh, it's fair. Like, it's so stupid, bro.
Now, Tampa's defense used to be the best part of them.
So, like, we say Tampa got exposed, but they got exposed by a team that was fraudulent and clearly broke the rules.
But at the end of
so
the
much
day,
that
they
Batman
got
had to change
bullied.
the rules now.
It wasn't just that they lost by a lot; they got bullied physically, right? They got beat up, and we've seen the games, And I'm not saying the Panthers are playing clean or anything, but Panthers, they did physically dominate them. This is a team that you fight back. They're not perfect, and Hedman's not
We
in.
don't have we don't have one of those teams like the Florida Panthers this year who's just like Bennett,
Racist.
Marchand, Ekblad being stupid. I didn't even mention Kachuk, and I have to mention him now. Like they're just idiots, bro. Like complete. Like they're the reason why hockey gets a bad rap for being such a stupid sport.
You got a point.
Like 10 of the worst guys in the league are all in the Panthers.
You're like Montreal certainly isn't that tough to bully them back like that.
Oh yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is I don't see Tampa as the monster that some people see them as. big thing, they're missing Hedman, who is huge, excellent defenseman.
Yeah.
They don't have Sergachev anymore. Ryan McDonough's a lot older. Look, Bradish and
Radish
Cernak,
is insane.
Moser is they're good. Um,
Radish is insane this year, bro.
yeah, and so like I understand that their defense is not weak by any means, but it is missing a huge piece.
What
Vasilevsky,
happened? What
best
happened
goalie.
with Hedman?
We don't know when he's back. He's taken a leave of absence actually. Some of it's repairs, injury. He has been injured. Some of it was, I think, just he had to do something. We don't have too much details, so we don't know when he's back. But I think obviously if Tampa starts losing the series, he might come back. Um, and you have
Scroll up.
Vasilevsky.
Scroll up.
Vasilevsky has the
Scroll up on
most.
your screen so you don't see the stuff on the right side.
I wasn't looking at the stuff on the right side. Um, but
Yo, if I get
yo,
Kelvin
Ryan, get out
online,
of
will
here.
we
No,
six stack?
sure, get out of here.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, six stack action. I could go for that. They have Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky is he won. I think he has the most wins of any goalie. This year he's gonna win Hart. Or not Hart. What's it called? The Vezina.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think he's a Vezina candidate. But he's been. I think he's human. I think like everything in Tampa, they've been like inhuman, and then they won their back-to-back cups and everything. But now they look human. They look very human to me. And I look at Montreal. They're young, and their best pieces are still coming. Like Fowler isn't even emerged yet. Nick Cage hasn't emerged yet. Reinbacher, he might get games in, but I think they're entering their prime in so many of these guys, and they have so many game breakers, and it's wave after wave after wave. It's okay. We have the monster first line, but then you have Demidov and Texier who's been hot. Newhook is who's so fast. It's like okay, we got past them. Well, now you have a bunch of guys who have something to prove in Bolduc, Kapanen, and Doc, and then you have this defensive monster. If Gallagher gets in and plays sometime, he's gonna make life hard, and he's been a playoff performer his whole career with Montreal. They're missing Dobson, and he's not coming back for the first round. I think that's people. Some people are in cope. Oh, he'll come back if they start losing. I don't think so. I think he's out for the first round. They said 2 weeks reevaluation period. He's out. But you know Hudson and Gooley are awesome together. Carrier can hold his own. Matheson can hold his own. You have a tough. They might get exposed on defense, but Hudson and Gooley are a lot better than people think they are. The people are just like, oh, they're just offensive dynamos. They're excellent. Their numbers, underlying numbers in the defensive zone are excellent. Yes, they missed Dobson, who his underlying numbers, he's their best guy at stopping zone entries. They're gonna miss him, but I don't think they're screwed. Um, and I think their team is better. I think Dobesh can do enough. I'm very confident, and I think Yuri Slavkovsky is gonna be the difference maker. I think you have these stars versus these stars. You know, I think Slavkovsky is gonna be the power forward that he's gonna prove everyone these playoffs. I think he's done it during the regular season and the Olympics. I think
Like,
his
how big do you think he
playoffs.
has to go to win a game?
I think that he will have a few points every night. I think he'll use his big frame to power something to the net, and Caulfield will finish. I think he can finish the dinner that Suzuki puts on a plate in front of him. I think Slavkovsky is going to be the difference maker, and I think he's going to be big and use his big body. We've seen it in the Olympics. He's going to prove to everyone why he was the first overall pick. I think this is Montreal's year.
I don't know. I can't say because I know the outcome of game one, but I think I gotta be a doubter of Slokowski. But we'll see.
You doubt Slavkovsky. Why do you have Bettman on the screen? He gets a guy out
No,
of here.
I'm telling you right now.
He gets a guy off my screen, bro. I'm pissed off now.
I don't care what you said. You said the Montreal Canadiens are going to be better than a team from Florida. This man right here is the commissioner of the league. As long as there's a Florida team playing a Canadian team, a Florida team will always win.
I think Montreal can play.
Since he's been in office, that's how it's gone.
I think Montreal can play the right hockey. I don't think that they.
It doesn't matter. Get Bettman's in office. He'll rig the system.
I don't think they can. I don't think it'll be enough. I think.
You think that the Montreal Canadiens can overpower Gary Bettman?
Yes. They're French.
So you're saying Ash's Pikachu can beat Arceus?
They're French.
Ash's Pikachu could beat Arceus.
The
Does
power of
Tampa Bay?
friendship. Have you heard of the power of friendship, bro? Look at Caulfield and Suzuki. They're so adorable. The power of friendship is
Bro,
gonna
the
win.
power of friendship has to go like nuclear.
I think they
Vince
can do it,
Slavkovsky can't be a bum. If
and I don't think he is. I think he's gonna prove that he's the first overall talent, and then that will be the difference maker. I think when everyone understands what Slavkovsky is, then I think everyone will agree with me. I think Montreal in seven.
like this guy like no, there's no chance. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. It's fortuitous for me. Um, I'll David. I'll put a burger bet.
A burger bet on Montreal and Tampa.
I'll put a burger bet on Montreal and Tampa.
You're telling me I get to watch my favorite team win and a hamburger?
Yep. So next time I see you, I will buy you a hamburger if the Tampa Bay Lightning lose to the Montreal Canadiens in any fashion, and you have to buy me a burger if the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Montreal Canadiens in any fashion.
I'm so down. I'm so down.
All right.
I'm so confident in
That's
Montreal.
our next burger bet.
I'm confident that they can do this.
The burger has to be under $35 Canadian.
Okay, we're not. I'm not. What do you think? I'm buying a Wagyu burger, man? Come on, relax.
Okay. I have to like say because I ain't buying like
Brisket.
stack keg burger, bro.
I understand. I understand. Now,
But I cheapen you out and I'm not buying you some like McDonald's single, bro.
I'm letting you know. I'm so hungry. I'll take a McDonald's double right now.
All right. So who do you think's gonna win the? We're gonna go. Do we gonna go? Sabres Atlantic series.
Yeah,
We're gonna go.
I think for either one of us, we're taking whoever wins Tampa Montreal over Buffalo.
Yeah, I agree. Buffalo will be happy they got through the first round.
Yeah.
And the other team has higher admirations. I have it because the Tampa Bay Lightning have the power of Gary Bettman behind them. So, there's that.
Do you think Pittsburgh will hold a chance to Carolina at all?
It's the second round of the series, and it's the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina's winning.
I'm with you. I think
It's
the
not about
Flyers
logic
are,
of the team. It's about historical performances, bro.
and I think the Flyers at this point it's house money. They're happy with what they got. They're good.
Exactly.
They're done.
Yeah. For me, the Penguins will run out of gas because they're too old.
Now this is where ours is going to be a lot different because
You're
you're.
gonna be separate. Okay. You're going with your heart here, aren't you?
I don't think I think that the Hurricanes. I have them every single year. I always have them making it to the Cup final. I think they're just too good. I think that the Hurricanes, they've got just up and down the lineup. They're my ideal lineup. They're everything I want in a lineup. I don't think Montreal is there yet to beat them. I think their young guys are just not gonna have it in them to be able to take the just the overall how excellent their team is gonna be. Now, one thing that I've mentioned, I forgot to mention earlier with the Montreal and Tampa series is that Montreal's played Tampa really good, and this whole season, yes, they lost to them once, but the other two times, they made a crazy comeback to win. They were down like they scored 4 goals in the third period, and they brought it to extra point, but Tampa Bay won the shootout. But Montreal had the momentum in 3-on-3. Tampa didn't even get the puck. It was all Montreal. And, you know, Montreal, they're like, no, we're done being bullied here. The next game, Tampa both times tried really hard to bully Montreal physically. Montreal didn't let it happen, and they kind of whooped them. For Carolina, it's been a lot closer, and Carolina's just been, a better team. Montreal has had a few times when they, one time they put Bussy in, and Montreal kind of lit him up, but it wasn't without Carolina being able to outpace them and play a lot better in the rest of the games. So the matchup, I've just seen it, and I think Montreal's just not ready. Their skill is still developing. You remember a lot of these guys, aside from Suzuki, none of these guys are fully in their prime yet. And I don't like Suzuki. This is his season where he just entered his prime. So everyone's gonna come back stronger and with younger players and better players. But I think Carolina, I think they just have this is the year they have the easiest route, and I think they're making it to the finals. What do you got going on here? What is this? What am I looking at, Genie?
So this is the 2021 playoff bracket.
Okay.
Do you see this? This is the third round in the East.
Uh huh.
See this?
Uh huh.
Florida team. Do you see this?
Uh huh.
Third round,
Uh huh.
2022. What? Florida team. You see this?
Uh huh.
Florida team. You see this?
Uh huh.
2024. Florida team. You see this?
Uh huh.
Florida team. Like, there's no possible way it's not gonna happen. And if it doesn't happen, it's not gonna be to the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes have choked in the third round. They've won one game in the past 21 attempts, bro. 1 in 21 attempts in the third round. They've been swept in like a bunch of the series, bro.
And I think they're over it. I think they're done. I think this is their year. Don't put that guy on his. Don't you get him off my screen right now. You don't put that guy here.
That's what I'm saying. Like until this man, as much as this man has done some good for the game, until this man steps down, I don't want him to die because he's an important human being in hockey history. He needs to step down from the game, because it's until that happens, the sport of hockey is just gonna keep going to the state of Florida, bro. It's just how it is.
I look at the roster Carolina has, and I think it's a better roster than Tampa Bay's.
Care, bro. It's been the same thing, same song, same dance. The Metro cannot beat Florida, bro. The last time we had a team that wasn't a Florida team was Boston. And they had to come out kicking and screaming with a godsend of a team in 2019, bro. That team was godlike. Oh, I didn't even pull up the 2000. I'm stupid. I pulled up 4 brackets in a row. I didn't even pull up 2020 NHL playoffs.
I don't know. I see a broken team.
Look at this. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, David. Over and over and over and over again.
And Tampa Bay's worse this year. And Florida's not in this year.
Like, it's the same thing every year.
Huh?
We're bored of it, bro. We're bored of it. This is like the Golden State Warriors and fighting the Cleveland Cavaliers for 4 years in a row, bro. It's the same thing. Nobody in the state of Florida cares about hockey like this. But they like, you know how big it would be for like Buffalo, Boston, or Montreal to be there? They would die. The entire state would go nuts. The entire province, from Montreal to the country behind them. No, let's send it to Florida, a state where they don't have snow. This idiot is there. Tampa Bay wins the Stanley Cup Finals. They beat the Avalanche.
I have the Avalanche. I have the Avalanche winning the cup. I think this is their year. I think McKinnon is going to go nuclear.
34 goals for Austin Matthews' knee.
You're guessing 34 goals in the final? That's your...
For Austin Matthews' knee.
Oh, I see. I think it's going to be a higher goal scoring kind of affair. I'm going to put it at... Well, I think if they're playing Tampa, it's higher goal scoring. I think with Carolina, it's going to be a lot
24.
tighter.
My mom made a bracket and she did 24.
Okay, that's not it. I think because they're playing Carolina, I think it's going to be lower. It's going to be 37, but I think... Honestly, like, I don't think it's going to be a long series. I do think the Avs will kind of win pretty handedly. So I'm not confident about my 30, because 37 is more like if they went 6 games. But if I was going Tampa, I'd put it like 40 plus goals. But we go on the lower end here.
Can I search up bracket names?
I don't know. I saved my bracket. I'm going to download it this time. That way we can pull it up later. I want you to download yours. That way we can remember. Bracket PNG. Amazing. Let's go to...
make a league so we can join,
Let's create a league.
and I'm gonna have my mom join it as well. Middle row, right side. No, brother.
My gunches.
Public.
Public. We'll just make it public. That way anyone can join if they make a bracket. I'm gonna assign my bracket. You invite someone. Manage league. Members. How do you share the there it is. We'll put it in my Twitch chat if anyone wants to join. I will put it in
Can you
elongate.
DM it to me as well so that I can send it to my
I
so
sent
she
it.
can join?
I sent it in elongate.
Alright, perfect.
Alright. So we will see. We'll see what comes
Thanks,
out of this.
Batman. We love you, Batman.
I don't. Alright. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys at the end of the season.